Moving on to other global news stories, following 4 deadly terror attacks in Israel over the past few weeks, in which 14 people have been killed and many injured, Israeli security forces are now scouring the country and the West Bank for suspects. On Wednesday, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, 2 teenagers were shot dead by the Israeli army during a clash triggered by an arrest. Israel says that dozens of further terror attacks have been foiled, including one planned for this Friday, the start of the Jewish holiday of Passover. Hamas in Gaza is calling for an escalation. Our correspondent Jody Cohen brings you this next report.
The Gaza ruling terror group Hamas has ordered a general mobilization for Friday. They have instructed Palestinians in the West Bank and across Israel to go out in the hundreds of thousands to pray at Al-Aqsa mosque in Jerusalem. This followed a meeting of Hamas and other groups in Gaza, including Palestinian Islamic Jihad, in which they discussed recent events, including an alleged social media post from a small fringe group calling for ritual animal sacrifices at the site of what Jews refer to as the Temple Mount. This is the holiest site in Judaism. Today, Islam's third holiest mosque, Al-Aqsa, stands where the Jewish temple once stood, and non-Muslims are not permitted to pray or perform religious ceremonies at the site. The Israeli Prime Minister's Arabic language spokesperson said that the allegations are completely false and have been promoted by Palestinian terror organizations and others in order to incite. He added that any attempts to change the religious status quo would be stopped. In the meantime, Israel has restored what is believed to be the tomb of the biblical Joseph, which was vandalized by some Palestinians in recent days. And on Wednesday night, Israeli President Herzog hosted a traditional iftar dinner. 200 guests, including Arab-Israeli public officials, community and religious leaders, heard him read from the Quran as he praised the holiday and hoped to spread a message of tolerance and coexistence. The Palestinian Authority's ruling Fatah in the West Bank has called for Palestinians to, quote, confront IDF forces and settlers throughout the West Bank on Thursday. And Hamas in Gaza has called for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to ascend on Al-Aqsa on Friday, despite Israel saying it has no plans to change the status quo at the holy site. Tens of thousands of Muslims were already expected at Friday's prayers in Jerusalem as Israel vowed to loosen restrictions on movement for Ramzan despite the terror wave. And many analysts believe Hamas's call is a pretext to use the convergence of Ramzan, Passover and Easter to escalate tensions. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.